News Desk. Day one has just wrapped up, and what a day it's been. We have heard from so many people, and now you can hear the drums behind me as people are leaving. But before we go, I want to get one last word from Jennifer Zabasija from Bloomberg. Jennifer, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
You moderated a panel this afternoon on big investment ideas, how to build resilient industries and supply chains. What stood out to you from the panel?
Well, I think what was key with the panelists, and thanks for having me today, is that the opportunities are there. Our session was called Opportunity Unlocks, and one of the questions I asked was, what are the biggest opportunities there? And the panelists all agreed that the opportunities are there. We've been talking about that for quite some time. It's really unlocking the next step to integration and ensuring that a lot of these opportunities work seamlessly. So we talked about various aspects of the discussion point, like de-risking, and the fact that de-risking doesn't just mean financial instruments, it also means in terms of integration within regional parts of the continent. And so, it's always taking the talk and making it into action, and we actually concluded the session with one of our speakers talking about some of those examples that we've seen in like a country like Rwanda. And so hopefully we see more of those scalable opportunities and those projects across the continent.
So the opportunities have always been there.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to know, like in your circle, as you speak to a lot of investors, have you really seen their attitudes change? Before they always thought Africa was kind of a risky, investment, or it was always that idea of aid, whereas now it's really this idea of like investing in Africa to build solutions.
Well, a lot of the discussion is focused on how do we take it to the next level, right? A lot of these opportunities that you say have been talked about for quite some time. And I think what is key is that there is definitely, people want to invest, right? The investment opportunity and the potential is there. I was actually just looking, we've seen foreign direct investment actually increase in the continent, and most of the investors that I talk to do see the potential there. It's very nuanced, the discussions, depending on the sectors, the countries that you're talking about, what part of the supply chain you're actually investing in. But the reality is we are seeing more investment in certain cases, and various types of investment, right? There's PPPs, there's blended finance, there's green bonds, and so I think just speaking from my perspective, there does seem to be a sentiment shift. We need to continue to watch to see how that factors into the numbers themselves.
I mean, it's what the president of Botswana said earlier, instead of just providing the raw resources, they really need to process them and own them. What do you think is, in your perspective, as we wrap this up, the most exciting industry opportunity in Africa at the moment? Is it new energy? Is it, raw materials? Is it sustainability, youth, culture?
I think it depends who you talk to and where you're talking to them. I mean, I'll just speak from the perspective of the Botswana president, because I was speaking with him earlier today. And they do want to, many people know this as a mineral-rich country, a country that has relied on diamonds for so long. And what he said is that they want to invest and be a part of the full supply chain, so upstream, downstream, and potentially then that unlocks even more opportunity, a diversified economy for a country like Botswana, which has not necessarily been that way. And so, he also talked about AI and tech and the potential there. And so, we're seeing a shifting and a diversification of investment, and I think of people focusing in on certain industries. So, we'll see how that transpires over the next few years and months.
Well, thank you so much, Jennifer. And as she said, she did an interview with the president of Botswana. You'll have to tune into Bloomberg to see that full interview. That's it from us today, but we will be back tomorrow for another jam-packed day. We're going to hear from the president of Senegal, as well as some big tech CEOs, fashion leaders, and people from the music industry. I will also be joined by Troy and Rashad from Earn Your Leisure, and they are going to be taking your questions. So make sure that you post them in the comments, either on my social media, post them on YouTube, and we will get you some answers. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you back here tomorrow, and I hope you have a great night.